All right, welcome back everybody to another episode of Hook the Line. This is going to be another game preview. We just finished up with Missouri at Oklahoma to kick off the weekend at 12 o'clock noon. And now we've got a Big Ten matchup. We're moving from the SEC to the Big Ten. We've got number 15 USC going on the road to number 7 Oregon in Eugene. And I'll just throw out some little facts for you. USC actually has not won in Eugene since 2011 and has lost the last three straight to Oregon. So we'll
Wow.
see if anything changes this weekend. Big playoff implications here, as I mean, USC sitting on the outside at 15. Maybe a win over Oregon strengthens you enough. Oregon also kind of sitting on the ropes at 7. Especially, I just kind of learned, I didn't realize this. They're 1-1 against top 25 teams currently.
Well,
Losing this game would be a big blow. Definitely knock them out of the playoffs. So uh, big one here. Spread's gonna be 10.5 for Oregon playing at home. Game is at 3:30 p.m., which is gonna be like 12:30 or something for them, so more of a noon game.
yeah,
And
that's
then
true.
the
That's a good point.
over is a massive 59.5, so they expect points. Let me hear your thoughts, you go.
Yeah, this is a big one for the former Pac-12, but now Big Ten teams. I really think these are like two top offenses and just in the country. Like these two teams do a great job of creating explosive plays, moving the ball, putting points on the board. Um, and so, like you said, it's huge for both teams. Probably more so Oregon, just because they're in a spot, and USC is looking from the outside right now, but must win both sides of the ball. So obviously super important. And you said it's going to be a 12:30 kick for them, which I think is interesting because we've seen that pop up a few times with some of these other games and teams, which make things weird. But I really think Oregon's deserving of a playoff spot. Right up there, right behind Ohio State and Indiana in the Big Ten, and should get in. I don't really think that it's they control their own destiny now. So if they do somehow lose this game, I think it's going to be tough for them to come back and you know get in. So they know that. Landing knows that. Um, and so for USC, right, I think this is you really got to play a perfect game to beat Oregon, and their defense has struggled mightily this year. Obviously, that's their weak point. They've let up a bunch of teams put up a lot of points. They had a big win against Iowa last week. Mayava didn't turn the ball over. I think that was a huge point for him because before that he was turning the ball over every game, like it was a lock. So obviously a huge point in the game against Oregon, who also, I mean, their defense isn't a rollover game. Like their defense is just as good as their offense, honestly, which I think it makes them such a powerhouse this year. Um, but Dante impressed me when they played Iowa. I think that them beating Iowa in an Iowa style football game on the road in the game that it was really impressive. Not gonna lie, for
Mhm.
not only as a team, but him as a quarterback in that 2 minute drill to set up that 2 minute. I think it was one throw. Actually, we'll get into it, but this
I know,
play
I know the throw you're talking about.
we're gonna talk about it because this throw was a dot best of the year for him, and it won them the game. So let's look at it real quick.
The funniest thing about that throw is my mom was sitting there watching this game next to me, and this is the first time she's ever used the word dot. But she goes, "That was a
It's a
dot."
dot.
And
Yeah.
she looks at me and she goes, "Did I use that right?"
All right, Dante got the ball. Huge point in the drive. 30 seconds left. You got to have it. Get into field goal range. Um, game on the line. And I was running man across the board, pretty easily identifiable to start the play pre-snap. And I think he likes this matchup one on one. I don't know if this is Decorian. No, I don't think it is, but still, he likes this guy over here
Malik
on the one on
Benson.
one. What is it?
Malik Benson,
Malik
like your
Benson,
second receiver.
second receiver. Still, I mean, they got athletes across the board. They could probably take any of these one on ones if they wanted to. Um, but since they have split safeties and they're kind of playing the hashes, kind of takes the slot away. Um, so he decides to go on the outside. And I mean, this is just a hell of a throw, right? This guy's got no help over the top. So it's really not a risky throw, which I like. And I mean, does it get better than that? What a throw. Really good late hands from the receiver, too. It's something they teach
Mhm.
probably everywhere because it will make the difference in the completion or incompletion. right? He's not able to get up that left hand, and right, you can see the field goal target line. This secures them into field goal range with 30 seconds left, right? Give yourself a chance to win the game, and really, that's the point where in this game I was like, okay, Dante Moore is legit, right? Oregon's legit. Obviously, it came down to a kick, but when you put themselves in that position to win the game, right? That's all you can do as a quarterback, as an offense. So, all right, so really, it's going to come down to which offense shows up more. Um, Obviously, that's a lot of football games, but when we look at USC and when they've played, more legit offenses, because I would say, the Big Ten's a little weak in terms of the bottom tiers and those um, lesser teams like Purdue. They've only put up 24 against Notre Dame, which is a pretty good, reputable defense, and 26 against Iowa last week. So, you know, when we're only putting up 25 points, which is crazy to say, but when you have a defense that bad against a really good offense like Oregon, you're probably not going to get what you want in a W. So to me, I think this one's kind of easy. I got Oregon here, got the Ducks taking this home. They know it, they need it at home. 37-24. So I think they do it handily. I think their offense gets the job done. Been playing well, and still secure that spot in the playoff.
Yeah, so you have them covering that 10.5,
Yep.
obviously, and then 37-24, that does hit the over, just barely. So yeah, you're
Let's
saying
go.
big one, like 2 points over the over, but
It's my
either
thing.
way, yeah, Oregon winning the game makes sense. I mean, it's in Eugene. It's a very hard place to play. Also, Dan Lanning as a coach, I think, is one of the best in the country at not falling into a trap game or just losing games in general that he shouldn't lose. The games you normally see this Oregon team lose are going to be like the big time games, like their one loss this year is Indiana, their loss last year, obviously Ohio State. So I think he's really good at winning these kind of middle tier opponent games that you really have to have and that everyone else is saying that you should win. So he'll have them fired up. He's an emotional head coach. I mean, we know that. Like, he'll get them ready to play. He'll say, playoff hopes on the line, get them ready to run through a brick wall. But for Oregon, yeah, you have to have it. I mentioned earlier that they're 1-1 against top 25. It's actually 0-1. I looked again against current top 25 ranked teams. Obviously, Penn State was ranked 3 when they beat them, so that kind of misconstrues everything a little bit. And Iowa was ranked 2, and now they're unranked. But currently have an 0-1 record against top 25 teams. So you kind of know with that if you lose this game, you're probably out. And I think that is what probably allows Oregon to win this game, which I'm going to have them also winning this game. But something I did like from Oregon is they got their tight end involved, Kenyon Sadiq, which I think as you get later in the year, teams get more film on you. They start to key in on your tendencies. They start to key in on your star players. And so you need some other guys to step up later in the season. And so having the ability for their tight end to now be a threat. He went 8 for 98, by the way, and a touchdown, I think, against Minnesota, which is why I say this. But now that he is in the picture, it adds a whole nother element for the defense to have to prepare for. They now have to prepare for Decorey Moore, Dante Moore's ability to get out and run, the running back as well, and then Kenyon Sadiq at tight end. So just adds another element to this already
Right.
Oregon offense that I think is going to help them down the stretch a lot. Maybe not in this game particularly, but looking past this if they make it into the playoffs. And then for USC, they've lost both their road games that have been ranked. I mean, they lost to Notre Dame, and then what was their other?
Illinois was one.
Illinois, the other one. So yeah, they're gonna have to do something special to get a win here. And I don't really see it coming from Mayava. Like you mentioned, the interceptions. He's got an 18-7 interception, touchdown to interception ratio, which isn't the worst in the world, but it's also not the best, especially when you're playing high level opponents and you need to take care of the ball. So yeah,
And I'm pretty sure they've all come against but not to cut you off, but I'm pretty sure they've all come against like within the past like 5 or 6 games. Like not you didn't throw one against Purdue, you didn't throw one in the stupid non-conference. Like
mhm.
7 of those picks have been in conference games and have been recent. So continue, but
I mean, that's a good point too. I didn't know that. So yeah, I think Oregon really has a big advantage here. And DJ Uiagalelei's brother or whatever is plays on the
good.
edge.
Yep.
Very good player, by the way. Like I didn't really notice that until this season. Very good at setting the edge. And Maava is a quarterback that likes to get out of the pocket, kind of be able to escape, extend plays. I think that's going to go in Oregon's favor. I think everything here kind of leans in Oregon's favor. I do think USC will put up points though. So I'm going 38 to 30 Oregon. I think it's a little bit more comfortable than maybe my scoreline might have it. I just think that, because both teams are playing with their playoff hopes on the line, USC is going to keep trying to score until the end of the game. So they may get a late touchdown to cut it to 8, something like that. So I have them covering. But the main thing here, Oregon is winning, moving, cementing themselves into the playoffs. At least we think they got a big game at Washington next week. So nothing set in stone yet. But I have the over in Oregon winning 38 to 30.
Like it. I could definitely see it happening. Right, you're just a little bit above my score within terms of the USC score, so it could be my score, and then they could score a late touchdown, like you said, and cover. So either way,
Yep. This will
Ducks
be a really
Ducks
fun
roll.
one. If you're really interested in playoff implications, all that, this is a good one to watch. The lineup this week is really good because all the playoff implication games kind of go 12 to 3:30, 7, all kind of.
And it's spread out within conferences, which is cool because people like to talk about biases and all that stuff. So
Yeah. So that's the Big Ten one. That's the one to watch this week. I'll definitely be keyed into that at 3:30. So we'll see what happens, man. I mean, this week 13 of the season, this is where it makes or breaks. So like you said, witching hour. Here we go.
absolutely.
All right.